Hello everyone, welcome to High Plane Games. My name's Simon and this is Herald, an interactive period adventure.
My God, Ludlow, have you read this?
And this is a Choice Matters style adventure. It's a series that is episodic. There's 4 books that you talk through, and you talk through them, I'm assuming, with the Rani that I meet at the beginning of book 1. And
No, sir, I haven't.
Your people seem to be causing a lot of unrest in the colonies lately.
do they, Cornelius? And it's very much in the vein of a point and click, but with telltale overtones, is how I describe it. I'm loving the presentation, I'm loving the artwork,
My people, sir?
I'm loving the voiceovers and the music.
You know.
I don't know, sir.
2 of the 4 books that are currently in this series are already released. Book 3 and 4 are coming out later, and it's very similar to A King's Tale, or A Knight's Tale. I always get the name confused. That's just come out with its 5-episode thing, where each book or each tale is an individual story that seems to be enwrapped in itself. And it seems to be following a very similar guise. I'm going to keep quiet for different periods because I'm running this on PC, and my PC is nearly dead. The fan's going quite loud, but I just wanted to give this a big 2 thumbs up and show you a little bit of gameplay on it, and I'll chip in little points. But otherwise I'm going to keep my mic muted so you can enjoy the full experience. This is available on PC at the moment, and yeah, loving it. I'm going to be quiet now. Shh, enjoy.
The indigo farmers, they claim the trade does not benefit them enough. They accuse the Lord Protector of abuse of power and demand fairer wages. The local regent has yet to respond, but I fear he will cave into the pressure.
Is that why we have the politician on board?
Yes, Senator Morton is the regent's brother-in-law, and he's going to help him with the complex politics of this affair. He's also accompanying the regent's daughter safely back to the colonies. Remember to treat both of them with respect.
Sir.
Is there anything else you brought from shore?
Well, apart from the new recruit, a letter, sir, addressed to Senator Morton.
Well, what are you waiting for? Give it to me.
But, sir, it's not your...
My ship, my rules, Ludlow. You know this. Besides, I don't think Mr. Morton has anything to hide from me. He better not.
May I remind you he is a protectorate official, sir?
And so am I. You there, what do you think, boy? Should I open the letter or not?
So this is us. We are Devan Runsberg, and in the opening bit before this comes along, you essentially paint your past with a Rani who is, without me really knowing, it's more like a wise lady of the colonies, and she then hands you your diary journal for you to then read out what your stories are. And so when it comes to selecting options, you always at the moment seem to have 3, and then obviously the dialogue path kind of veers off from there. You do get to move your character around slightly as well, but mainly so far it's all been choice driven.
Why not? It's your ship. Your rules, sir.
Exactly. Ludlow, you should take an example from Mr.
Devon Rensburg, sir. Pleased to meet you, Captain.
Captain Cornelius Hendricks. Nice to have you aboard the Herald. Rensburg. I assume you understand that there are rules here. Officer Lutlow will give you the lowdown on them during your tour of the ship.
Sir, I have other...
But first, Lutlow, I'd like you to find Senator Morton and send him here. I need to talk to him about this letter of his. Be quick about it. I'll send Rendsburg off to you in a moment.
Yes, sir. Be sure to see me on deck, Devon.
So then, Rendsburg, I take it you must be returning home to your family?
Yes, I am, sir. It feels strange to say that, though, since I don't really remember my family. I was adopted. I know my father is a Protectorian, and my mother is originally from the colonies. It won't be easy to find them. That's why I'm writing everything that might help me with my search down in my journal.
So notice how the choices will affect immediate dialogue choices, but it does funnel back down quite nicely. And not having played all of the books because they're not all out or etc., it's difficult to know how diverse the choices are in this game. But having enjoyed Telltale games where you always get funneled back into the same kind of decisions anyway, I think it's the journey, not necessarily the end result or byproduct, that you want to enjoy to get there. But that's swings and roundabouts. It's different for everyone.
Yes, I see. Well, you should look at my globe then, Rendsburg. As you see, the colonies are very big. You should write it in your journal.
Does he have a size problem?
Well, off you go to your tour of the ship. Have a nice evening.
There was a globe in the room. The ornate rooster on top stretched his wings out over the world, as if protecting it.
So this is how things work, and it's more of an explanation of how, which is why I'm choosing bits that are, this isn't necessarily plot like spoiler, but it's to try and show you how the game actually works. So there's a lot more beyond just the choices of what goes on here. So you can cycle through your encyclopedia of things that you've got going on. You've also got a map of the Herald as well. And then you can actually move someone around. So it's very similar to Telltale-like stuff. And then but instead of being in the vicinity of, you don't necessarily have to be at the vicinity of things. You move the right analog stick around, and then right trigger to hit on stuff.
The paper stand on the captain's desk was filled with letters stamped with a protectorate seal. Cornelis Hendricks seemed to be an important man.
Did he now?
The captain's newspaper lay open on his desk. Colony Unrest, it said. The rest was too difficult to read from a distance. The captain's cabin was one of the few places on the ship with a heater. The crew didn't have such luxuries at all.
Dirty captain. And obviously you can just talk away. He's a bit preoccupied anyway, so let's pop outside and have a wee tour. Poop deck.
Oh, well, I would assume he's reading your letter right now, Mr. Morton.
I sincerely hope you're joking.
No, on the contrary, sir. At sea, the captain makes his own rules. As far as I can tell, our captain is king on the Herald, sir. The crew, his loyal subjects.
Officer, there are several reasons why the people got rid of the king back in the day. This is precisely the sort of thing that led us to abolish the monarchy. I'm going to have a word with Captain Hendricks now. Please carry on.
I was quite often tempted to take over the wheel and sail us on a random course towards adventure, but that wouldn't have been a smart move.
So, as it's called Herald, all of the books take place on the Herald of some degree, is what I'm gathering. So let's do the tour and see what you think of it. Let's have a go.
That, Devon, was Senator Lewis Morton.
But I like the fact that you can go off and explore different things, and it's more point and clicky than what your usual choose adventure of a Telltale formula is. And I'm sorry that I'm being lazy and comparing it to Telltale Adventures, but it's like it's brought some of the best of the point and click genre to a choose your own adventure type thing, or choices matter, I guess.
Did you see the look on his face when I told him the captain opened his letter? Pure agony.
But it's easily the best like crossbreed description I can think of. So yeah, I'm shutting up again, sorry.
It would be fun if we could see what's happening inside the captain's quarters right now.
It would be, wouldn't it? People have a hard time adjusting to life outside the capital. On the open sea, the rules tend to change, but customs don't change with them. Mr. Morton is a prime example of that, and you will probably experience the same. The trick, though, is to accept change. It's something that people like Morton will never understand. But you might.
What makes you believe I will?
There's a reason I picked you from the lot. I rarely choose anybody who is unfit for a life at sea. Now for your tour. Welcome aboard His Lordship's vessel, Herald.
Yay!
A Cromwellian-class Protectorate clipper launched in 1851.
Does look quite jaunty.
As one of the fastest sailing ships in the mercantile fleet, she can reach a top speed of 18 knots. During her short life, she has already set multiple records sailing to the colonies and back along the famous Indigo route.
Really? How fast is 18 knots exactly?
A knot is the equivalent of 1 nautical mile per hour. Since a nautical mile is a little over a regular mile, it means the Herald can sail at approximately 21 miles per hour.
Why is that? Why is a nautical mile not the same as a regular mile? Surely a mile should be a mile. What's wrong with this world?
And before you start, we still use imperial measurement at sea. Metric has yet to catch on in the Navy. Proof that even sailors have a hard time adjusting to certain changes. Now let's move on to the deckhouse.
The bilge pump on the weather deck was used every day. Even in good weather, some water tends to end up below decks.
The Cromwellian-class ship type is named after one of the Protectorate's founding fathers, Oliver Cromwell.
Now that's a name I know.
These ships are merchant clippers, built with trade in mind. making money. The Herald is an indigo clipper, which means she mainly takes shipments of indigo powder to the Protectorate homeland. With this powder, we make the paint that coats the hulls of our ships, and the dye that gives the fabric of our clothes its bright blue hue.
I don't really get it. Why is blue paint so important?
You've lived in the capital, Devon. Never noticed the rooftops of its buildings or the clothes of its people? Everything has been colored blue there. The color blue touches on much that the Protectorate holds dear.
Blue da ba dee da boo da da boo dee da. Sorry.
And indigo is made from a plant that produces the only known blue dye that withstands heavy wear. Until anybody finds a cheaper substitute, the indigo trade remains an invaluable part of our economy.
Such an infrastructure just to create paint? There are people starving. Can't we ship more food instead?
You should not see it that way. People with money make the world go round. After all, the Protectorate is built upon free market principles that foster progress through supply and demand. Its people get paid an equal share for the work they do, and with this money they are free to do with as they wish. I am not fond of life on shore, but even I can see that the system works. For most people at least. Now, onto the bow of the ship.
Oh, economics. Oh, hello. Hey, Matthew and Daniel and Brennan. Oh, careful. See, in a Telltale game, you just automatically assume they'll be dead quite soon. So it's quite nice to actually see names and stuff.
We are standing on the weather deck right now, where you will work every day ensuring the safe passage to the colonies. You will be tasked with tying the knots, reefing the sails, and swabbing the decks. There will be no talking to first-class passengers, no idling around the ship at night, no begging, no fighting, no stealing, and most of all, don't get caught trespassing. Now that sounds like a lot for you to worry about, right?
Not if you're just a normal citizen, no.
I'll manage.
That's what I thought. Don't worry, it'll get tedious soon enough. Keep in mind that the dining saloon in the deckhouse is only for first-class passengers and officers during this trip. This was a special request by Senator Morton, so please steer clear from the saloon if you want to keep out of trouble.
Senator Morton's a classist wanker.
Anyone without a blue coat should just use the service stairs through this door here. Now, is there anything in particular you would like to know?
Why is your nose so huge?
What if I wanted a blue coat? Where do I get one?
You'll have to earn one. The captain is an honest man. He'll reward hard work.
That sounds like a chapter goal to me.
But don't expect him to promote you anytime soon. It took me years before I earned mine.
Ha! I give better blowjobs.
Now just go through this door, past the officers' cabins, and you'll find the service stairs on your right-hand side. Down those stairs you'll find the crew's quarters and your bed. That concludes the tour, Devon. I hope you enjoyed it. I will have to stay out here. I'm on watch tonight. The boatswain will wake you up tomorrow morning to prepare you for the day. Good night.
Toodles! Okay, let's dive off to Betty Bows. Ooh, and that's actually...
There was one particular corner on the main deck where the captain couldn't see you from the poop or front deck. Littered with boxes, barrels and sacks, it provided cover for those in a bit of a lazy mood. All day long you could hear the chickens cackle. Though the meat was reserved for friends of the captain, their eggs were a special treat for the crew at weekends.
But I don't want to. And take this thing back.
But Ian, it's a gift.
I don't need it. I don't need any of this.
Get out.
I didn't mean to.
Get out.
Drama!
I was quite surprised to find a flag in the drawer. I'm sure it would not have pleased the Lord Protector to see our symbol of power tucked away in a nightstand. I was quite... It was a peculiar place for a sink. I suspect it didn't fit in the officers' cabins. God forbid that officers have to use the same one as the rest of us. I wondered if everything was all right inside.
Go away, Ian. If you want to apologize for the compass, then now is not the right time.
Are you all right, sir? I heard something break. Oh, by the way, I'm Devon Rensburg, sir.
Rupert Brunswick, First Officer and Navigator. Nice to meet you, Rensburg. Welcome aboard. I'm sorry for my tone. I didn't mean to be rude.
That is the most jauntiest, bounciest man breasts in slow motion. I'm slightly transfixed. Awesome fringe as well.
I do appreciate your concern.
I didn't mean to intrude, sir. I was merely concerned.
Thank you. I'm fine now. But let me give you some expert advice, dear boy. Be careful whom you trust on board.
Now he sounds a little bit like he wants to cuddle up with me at night.
Some people might not be worthy of your friendship. Keeping to yourself will save you from disappointment.
But also probably not keep you warm at night.
Now, off to bed. It's very late.
I know you are out there, and even though Mother taught me to address you properly, I know your language is different from ours. Please, hear my prayer. Listen to my heart. I'm begging you to just help me this one time. I want you to see my struggle with the life you chose for me. I feel trapped, and I see no way out. You are the only one I can turn to. Please tell me what to do. Give me a sign.
Hello? Look behind you!
The playing cards, strewn everywhere, seem to indicate that the sailors like to play games. I preferred to write in my journal, rather than occupying myself with such silly things.
Games are not silly, Devon. We're going to have words, mate.
Boxes, big and small, were everywhere on the Herald. I wondered what was inside the one on the table, but I didn't dare to open it. On the table stood an open bottle of wine, and there it remained for the rest of the voyage. Maybe I should have taken it to the galley to be used as vinegar. The apples reminded me of home. Looking out of the window of my small room, I used to dream about this journey while staring at the fruit trees in the garden. It was getting late. I had to go to bed.
All hands on deck. The sun is out and breakfast is served on the gun deck.
Yeah! That's an amazing voice. I love it.
You too, boy.
Yeah, boy.
Ian.
Hey, Caleb.
Oh, not well, sir. It's probably the food from last night. I don't really feel like eating anything right now.
Like your penis.
Oh, really? Well, I don't trust Andres Bangers and Mash either, but you won't make me believe that they made you sick. That would be way too convenient for you.
I'm not lying, Caleb. My stomach tells me that something's wrong.
That's Mr. Haywood to you, boy. And I know exactly what you're thinking. You heard that Ludlow was sick this morning, so you're trying to blame it on the food. Nice try, boy. Now get up and start running.
No, I won't. You can't force me. I'm going on strike.
Ha! Don't make me laugh, kid. You wouldn't last a day.
Is Ludlow really sick? What does he have? He looked fine yesterday.
He looked kind of pale when he went to bed last night. Probably seasick or something. You the new guy. Rensburg, ain't it? I'm Haywood, boatswain on this here ship. You should report to Officer Brunswick at the helm. Needs his boy to do an errand for him. But since this wretch won't get out of bed, maybe you ought to do it. You up for that?
No problem, Haywood. I'll get right to it.
Just follow the instructions Officer Brunswick gives you. Now, off to the helm with you.
Ooh. So we're going to stop that there because I think that gives you a fair flavour of what the game is all about. I really, really like it. I'm going to continue on playing away from all of this and see how book 1 and 2 kind of link together and what choices do carry over, if any whatsoever, if they're specific stories coherent, don't cross over in any way, shape or form. But this is Herald, an interactive period drama. Available on PC. Books 1 and 2 are already out. 3 and 4 will be coming in the future. Thank you so much for the developer for getting in contact and saying we've seen some of your videos and we think you might like this. I really do. Thanks for giving me the permission to show a bit of it up on the channel. I'll be coming back in future for a bit more of a review, maybe in video format, but definitely written over on higherplayinggames.com. Do please subscribe and say hello if you like what you see. And there's a video every single day. Check out my projects in the comments.